What up, guys? Mar here. All right, I got a thoughts video. All right, share my thoughts. So, the theme of today's message is: do you trust buying sealed from like collectors, especially like the high-end collectors? And here's what I mean: like, if POV, let's say you're at a card show, right? You're walking around a card show, and you come across a table. It's a One Piece table. You see that they have 3 loose boxes of OP13, right? And you're like, okay, I probably want to buy that box. I want to chase the red manga Luffy, red manga Ace, red manga. But then you look at their slabs. You're like, I also want to see what singles they have. And you look and you see a red manga Luffy for BGS 10, PSA 10. I don't know, maybe I have some trust issues, but I immediately just get turned off. The thoughts just leave my head. The thoughts of me buying that box from that seller is just gone. I'm like, bro, how do I know you didn't, with your distro access, with your private access, with however you got your cases, again, store, whatever. How do I know, and this applies to card shops too, by the way, card shops, vendors. How do I know you didn't rip your cases, get the red manga, and you're trying to sell the rest of the boxes to some unaware buyer who just is coming to this card show? Who knows? This vendor came from a different state, different city. You'll never see them again. Like, I don't know. Am I just overthinking it, or is that a genuine concern? Like, you look down, you see some wanted poster SPs. You see the red manga Luffy, and all you see is 3 loose boxes left. I was in a situation like this before, actually. I'm not going to say which seller it was or anything, but they basically, same scenario. They had a red manga, I think it was a red manga Ace, and they had the wanted posters, some SPs, and 2 loose boxes of OP13. And without, you don't want to show your power level immediately. If you could go Super Saiyan 3, don't let people know you can go Super Saiyan 3. Just go like Super Saiyan 1, test waters. So I was like, oh, blah, blah, how things that. So, how many cases of OP13 have you ripped? And he was like, oh, yeah, no, I've only ripped, 2 cases. He was like, I pulled a red manga, and, yeah, and all I saw was a few boxes left, So, I wasn't trying to dig too deep, but at some point, you kind of just fit the puzzle pieces together, And it's like, oh, he pulled a red manga. He's got a red manga slab. He's selling a few boxes. At what point does, do the dots connect? At what point do the puzzle pieces fit where even if it's not fully fitting, you could kind of finish the picture yourself? It's just crazy to me how many people buy sealed from these vendors when the literal chase card is there. Again, unless the vendor possibly buys several cases, I don't know, it's just weird. Was I wrong for not trusting this guy's 3 loose boxes when all he ordered was 2-3 cases and pulled the red manga, it's just kind of very suspicious, So I like to think about these things. Because if they're a collector, it just kind of makes me think maybe they're trying to fund their collecting hobby while offloading the possible, alt leader boxes and stuff to some unaware buyer, One Piece is just in a very bad state where I've just been having a lot of thoughts like this. I've been opening some loose boxes and I just don't get hits again. Oh yeah, maybe I'm unlucky, but it's just, I don't know. But just critically think, guys. I guess the whole point of this video is for me is when you go to a card shop, when you go to a thing, if you see loose boxes, there's only 2, 3, 4. Look at their slabs too. Look at their singles. If they have 2 OP16 boxes left and you see their counter and you see a manga Kuzan and 2 SPs, it just kind of paints a picture, I truly believe those last 2 boxes would be, you're not going to get anything, And again, you can't there's no guardrails. There's nothing you can't really prove it. You can't yeah. So it's just kind of the buyer just ends up taking the L regardless. So yeah, that's my main point of grievance. But here's the nuance. When I walk across the table, maybe a Pokemon seller, some seller, and I don't see any One Piece singles, I don't see any One Piece slabs, and I see possibly cases of One Piece or several boxes, I tend to trust that seller more. because they don't have any singles. They don't seem like they rip or they buy or they care for One Piece. I rather buy like like on TCG Player, for example, right? Okay, I'm gonna go through this rabbit hole real quick. Quick trick: when you go on TCG Player and you see a seller with like one or two boxes, check their store. If they're selling like the SP single, the manga single, chances are that box is dead, or at least I wouldn't trust it. Just my 2 cents. So it's kind of like self snitching at its finest. I love that. Please keep doing that. I hope the TCG Player sellers don't see this video, but keep posting your manga cards on your store so I could avoid buying those loose boxes. All right, don't tell them. This is just like a buyer trick, a buyer thing I like to do. Cause it's like, bro, I don't know. It's like these guys are off the bat, off rip. Just boom, the listing comes, one or two boxes left. I checked their store for OP15, for example, manga NL and like Luffy SP for like literally like one of the highest prices I've ever seen. Like self-snitching at its finest, bruh. I love this. I need the sellers to keep doing this, man. Like, so I hope, yeah, as a buyer, just keep trying to do that. But yeah. So my point was I love buying One Piece sealed boxes from when I check their store and they have no singles. Because it just shows me like most likely they don't care for One Piece. They're just trying to they just want the money. They just want to get rid of the product and get the money. So I really like sellers, just me personally, my thoughts, that do not sell any singles, any chases, any grails of One Piece. Like I check their store, I usually see a bunch of Pokemon singles, a bunch of Magic singles, a bunch of Digimon singles, a bunch of these random card game singles, but then for One Piece, it's only sealed for some reason. Like, I don't know. Like, are they also collecting the commons too? I guess they're selling the commons and super cheap cards for all these other card games, but for One Piece, there's no commons. Maybe they're collecting those guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, I don't know. Market psychology, guys. Maybe one day I'll make a video on. Nah, I gotta think about that one. That's too much power. I can't. So some tactics, some tricks could be used for evil, and I feel like maybe they shouldn't be shared. But, yeah. Other than that. Share some tricks with me, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you got. Like, is there any tricks I'm missing? Like, obviously, don't buy loose packs. They're most likely weighed and all that. But, I guess I got my point across. I don't want to make this video too long. But, yeah, I do not like buying sealed from collectors. I am not the what do you want to call it? I am not going to fund your collecting addiction, if that makes sense. I am not going to fund your opening and you selling to break even or profit. Like, count me out. I'm good. So that's all for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys care if you see 2-3 loose OP13 boxes and you see a red manga Luffy? Are you really gonna buy that and open it at tonight and like hype your boys up? Like, all right, guys, we're gonna pull the red manga Luffy. Like, I don't know. It's like when you guys obviously open it and you guys don't get it, it's just gonna be, oh, we didn't hit it. Maybe next time. It's just gambling, but it's just in reality, it was 0% the whole time if you think about it. And that just doesn't sit right with me. I'd rather like be confident I didn't hit and it was RNG than it truly being 0%. So that's just my take. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And oh yeah, again, maybe counter argument real quick. They could have bought the red manga Luffy. That's why maybe you gotta dig for more information. Like, hey, like, oh, how'd you get this? Maybe, I don't know. Some vendors are probably smart. They'll probably know what you're trying to do. They probably noticed you saw the box, but I don't know. Things like that. So that's all for this video. Please like and subscribe if you like this type of content. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.